Good morning, Year 3. Mr. Grocott here with some more maths for you today. Today we're moving on from right angles and we're going to look at a few other angles. But just to start with, I want to see if we can identify all the right angles on this page. So, a right angle, as we know, is basically a quarter turn. And we can tell if it's one by using our angle finders that you were using yesterday. And if I can draw a perfect square, not very neat square, but there we go, that's better, we know that it's a right angle. If I tried to draw one in any other angle that wasn't a right angle, it wouldn't make a square. So that one there is not a right angle. This one here is a right angle, this one here is a right angle, and this one here is a right angle. Now, these other lines that we haven't labelled, well, what are they? They aren't right angles. Does that mean they just don't have a name? No. Hopefully you can remember from when we've done this before, they do have their own special names. And they are an acute angle and an obtuse angle. An acute angle is if it's smaller than a right angle, and we might remember this as acute baby angle. It's a baby angle because he's smaller than a right angle. It's acute angle, acute baby angle. And if it's bigger than a right angle, it's a fat obese angle, an obtuse angle. Okay? So those are two ways you could use to remember it. Now then, two right angles, as we know, are half of a full turn. A right angle is what we call these degrees. Okay, so a right angle is 90 degrees. How many degrees are there then in half a turn? If 90 degrees is a quarter, how much is a half? Well, to find out, we do 90 times 2. Now, obviously, that's a bit difficult. So we'll do 9 times 2, which gives me 18. So if 9 times 2 is 18, 90 times 2 must be 180. So two right angles is 180 degrees. And you show that by drawing a little line, little circle just there. Okay? Now then, let's move on. Okay, so remember that because we're going to come back to it. Now then, here I've got 4 angles. I want to know all of these angles are what than a right angle, and they are all what than 90 degrees. Have a go. And welcome back a few pause. So, all of the angles are smaller than a right angle, okay? Because they're acute baby ones. All of the angles are therefore less than 90 degrees, okay? Because if a quarter is 90 degrees, well, less than a quarter must be less than 90 degrees. With these ones, all of the angles are what? They're greater than a right angle. They're bigger than a right angle. And therefore, all of the angles are greater than 90 degrees. Okay? Now then, let's see if we can sort these angles into the correct boxes. Have a go. And welcome back a few pause. So, easiest one that we can notice straight away is A. A has got a square for its angle, which means it's a right angle. It's a quarter turn. So right angle is A. We've then got, let's do D. Now D looks a bit like a right angle, but it's got the circle. So chances are it's smaller, okay? Because it's not bigger, because bigger would be bigger than a quarter. So this, I would say, is just a bit smaller. So D is an acute angle because it's smaller than a quarter, it's smaller than 90 degrees. And then C, well, C is bigger than a quarter. It's bigger than 90 degrees, which means it is obtuse. Now B is a bit different because as you can see, my line has done more than half a turn. It's done more than 180 degrees. And this is why I wanted to remind you of this. I wanted you to remember that 180 degrees is half a turn. If your angle is bigger than half a turn, it's bigger than 180 degrees, it's not obtuse. It has a different name, but we don't need to worry about that today. Okay, that will be revealed later on in your journey with angles. So we've got D as an acute angle because it's smaller than 90 degrees. We've got A as a right angle because it is 90 degrees. We've got C as obtuse because it's more than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. And B is other because it's bigger than 180. Okay? Now then, using my crocodile symbols, I need to compare the sizes of this angle. So is a right angle bigger or smaller than or equal to this angle? Okay, have a go and see what you can come up with. And welcome back if you've had a go. So, number one, a right angle is bigger than an acute angle because it's 90 degrees and an acute angle is less than 90. Number two, I've got an obtuse angle and I've got another obtuse angle. But as you can see, they've both done this line here, and this one is more spread out than this one. Okay, so this has done more of a turn open. So that one is bigger. Here, I've got less than a quarter turn, so I've got an acute angle compared to this one here, which is an obtuse angle. So again, the obtuse angle is bigger. And here, I've got two right angles. Now, since right angles are both 90 degrees, they must be equal. Okay? The only reason, number two, that I'm saying this one is bigger is because obtuse angles can be anything between 90 and 180. And if that one's more open, it's a bigger angle, which means it's bigger than that angle there. So, silver today is questions 1 to 4, gold is questions 5 to 7, and platinum, as always, is on a separate sheet. I'm also going to write here to help remind you that less than 90 degrees is an acute angle. 90 degrees is a right angle. And between 90 and 180 degrees is a obtuse angle. Okay, so I'm going to leave that on there for you, so you've got a little reminder. If you have any questions, please get in touch and have a lovely day. Bye.